What's up, everybody? I'm Gina G, and welcome to another episode of Reppin' with Gina G, show where I rep my teams by the Bay. In this episode, I'll be repping the San Francisco 49ers. And as you may or may not know, I'm a die-hard Niners fan since 1981. Celebrated all 5 Super Bowls, celebrating in the streets of San Francisco. So can we get back to the promised land with our toxic ex, Jimmy G? Or will he break our hearts like before? We shall see. And prayers up to Trey Lance on his rehab. So this Sunday is week 3 against the Denver Broncos, who are third in the AFC West with a record of 1-1 at the helm of QB Russell Wilson, who was acquired on a monster contract from the Seahawks. We're playing Sunday Night Football. 49ers have signed former running back Tevin Coleman to the practice squad, and also to the practice squad, Kurt Benkert at quarterback. Tight end George Kittle, who has missed the first 2 games of the season, practiced today, albeit on a limited basis. Kyle Shanahan and all of us 49er fans are somewhat hopeful or optimistic that he will play on Sunday night. Also, missing from the Broncos practice today was Jerry Jeudy, Patrick Surtain II, and is it the second or the third? And Randy Gregory. As you know, Jerry Jeudy exited Monday night's game in the first quarter with a ribs injury. Surtain II left midway through the second quarter with a shoulder issue, but after further examination, he's considered day-to-day. And linebacker Randy Gregory also missed today's practice due to a shoulder issue he's had and is considered day-to-day. It seems to be like a weekly thing for him, I guess, but we'll talk to our Broncos fan about that. He seems to miss practice like in the early part of the week. So, but he's likely to play on Sunday night. So I've got a great episode for you. We've got a Broncos fan, Niners fan, and of course my ever-loving the director of the network, Adam. So we're going to bring him in right now. We've got Geoff Long from Death, Taxes, and Sports Podcast.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Super excited to be on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. And next, repping the 49ers faithful, we got Chris from CG Ruthless Sports Network. What's up, Chris?
What's going on? Thanks for the invite. It is so exciting that I finally get to go on a show for once, and why not have it better with Gina?
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm glad that you came because I always seen you in the comments, on a show previously. So thank you so much for the support as well, and glad to have you. And last but not least, the founder of our network who makes this ship run, Adam, and Steelers fan. He's the founder of Driving to the Top Productions. What's up, Adam?
Nothing. I am not wearing a Browns hat. I'm definitely wearing an Indians or Guardians hat. All right, just to let everyone know. I am a Guardians Indians fan. I have a camp about 45 minutes out of Cleveland, so I kind of grew up there in the summers. So I kind of, I bathed the Pirates and the Indians. So we're Guardians now, but I just wanted to clear that before everyone said, "Why are you wearing a sea hat?"
No problem there.
But anyway, guys, how we all doing tonight?
Good, man. Good. It's been, just trying to get over the hangover from the last series of games in week 2. Week 3 is kind of brings some really interesting storylines, and just ready to get back at it,
And I see we have some regulars in the chat. We have 49ers faithful Chanel and Tanya. What's up, sis? We have Throwback. What's up? So thanks, guys, for joining us, and ready to get this show on the road. I just want to, say thanks for joining, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, tell all your friends, because we can't grow unless you guys help us out. So just to get right down into it, let's get started on the topics here. So first of all, I'm excited for our prime time game, you guys. First topic. Broncos. Why are the Broncos underdogs at home? I was actually kind of surprised to see this because I was looking at, the odds, and we are like 2.5 point favorites. Although I don't know, it changes all the time. But what do you think, Geoff?
I'm not surprised by this, and I think that the spread should be a little bit higher because I think on the offensive side of the ball, we have just been absolutely anemic, and we should have lost that game to the Texans. We really should be 0-2 right now. If it wasn't for like a second half quarterback pass by Russell Wilson, we wouldn't have won the game. We are struggling to be able to score on offense, and we only have having 2 touchdowns in the first 2 games, right? So I'm not really surprised, and Nathaniel Hackett can't hack it. Kind of corny. I know that's kind of corny.
No. I can dig
I'm
it.
not surprised. I'm not.
I
think we have we're anemic on offense, and we have no cohesion. The penalties. I think we had 15 penalties for over 115 yards. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
Hey, Chris, do you have any thoughts on the whole at home Denver underdog thing? And are we, as Niners, we're expected to win this game, right?
Well, the odds have added up since everybody's talking about Jimmy Garoppolo is back under center and talking about how the Broncos underperform on this offense, and Nathaniel Hackett's play calling's kind of been iffy. The loss to Seattle was kind of like a suspect. And then the way they played against Houston, the offense scores under 20 points per game. That is a concern. But is it surprising that we're the favorites? No. I feel like this is a game that mostly the Niners should be able to dominate this team because Denver, the only thing they got going forward is that running game. The running game is pretty much what keeps this offense going. But Melvin Gordon has ball security issues. Javonte Williams has had been little issues staying healthy also, but the ball security has been a problem also. So when you look at the wide receivers, when healthy, it's an underrated group. But when you look at the entire offensive line and the way Russell's been playing, it's kind of been Russell's been producing. It's just the team around him isn't getting the job done.
If I just real quick on that,
Please.
Yeah. I just think a little bit of the pushback is that a lot of people say that it's Russell Wilson. I do not think it's a Russell Wilson issue per se. When you look at the first game, right, they did not give up a sack in the second half against Seattle. They were 8 of 15 on third down conversions, right? So they were in a position to be able to win that game, right? I do think, though, that to the gentleman's point, I do think, though, the wide receiving core, I do think is a little bit thin and could be a little bit top heavy with Court Sutton and as well as Jerry Jeudy. I knew that Tim Patrick injury was going to hurt us, and this is the reason why, because I do not believe that KJ Hamler is going to be that type of receiver we need him to be. And I also question Jerry Jeudy's health. So, and Courtland Sutton had a knee injury 2 years ago. So there's a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball, and the running game can be a little bit suspect unless Javonte Williams gets open spacing in the field. That's the really only way. He can't run between the tackles. So there's just a lot of questions. Honestly, way too many questions.
And so that for me brings up another Broncos question.
I have little breaking news.
Oh,
Nothing in this game, but apparently Jameis Winston is dealing with fractured bones in his back and his ankle. He might not be playing this weekend.
Oh,
wow! But I'm not selling Chris Olave. That's for damn sure.
I just glanced down and was like, "What's coming across my phone here?"
I almost drafted Olave.
Yeah, man, I'm really big a fan of his. Go Buckeyes! But
I just picked up Saints defense because the Browns really screwed me.
Should have got the Bills defense.
They were already drafted. I
Nah,
was trying to pick up a sleeper here quickly because I had 2 shitty defenses. Oh well. Anywho, so can Judy and Russ be a threat? And I'm also asking fantasy wise because I have Judy on one of my teams.
Is Judy gonna play?
Well, questionable, right?
The number 1. That number represents the number of touchdowns that he has in his whole entire career. 1. 3 represents the number of seasons that he has played. 6 represents the number of games that he missed to a high ankle sprain last season in the week 2 win against the Giants. The answer to your question is no, because he can't stay on the field. There.
I was afraid of that.
I mean, that's just really just what it comes down to. Jerry Jeudy has great route running ability, but he's also been pretty inconsistent with being able to catch the ball.
So it's not the quarterback, it's him.
To say it's the quarterback this year after 2 games with a small sample size, I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know if we want to equate it to just bad quarterback play, right? Because you look at the quarterbacks that he's had, but still you're an NFL receiver and you should be able to catch the ball regardless of whoever the quarterback is, right? He's not the only quarterback that's played with anemic quarterback play. So I don't know.
It's just strange to me. Everyone was so high on him in the NFL draft. I remember that 49ers fans were talking about, like, we need to draft Judy. We need to draft Judy. And he seems to be somewhat
really
of
hasn't
a
had a quarterback,
bust.
though. He really hasn't had a
That's
quarterback.
Fair, right? That's
he
fair.
was the best route runner in the draft. Like when everybody was talking about the route running ability, that guy played it at the high level at Alabama. Like he was the one that everybody was talking about. Hey, the guy has the best route running.
I mean, you could see the flashes, like you can see it, right? He just has to stay healthy. Like that's the thing, right? He's too frail. Like he's just way too frail. So I question his durability. And I mean, durability has to start to come into effect. You got to start wondering that. So as great as he is, I'm just not necessarily sure we're going to see him being able to reach his full like climatic potential because he just can't stay on the field, just like Trey Lance. No disrespect.
Hey,
well, those are 2 totally different scenarios.
I have a question, Gina. I have a question. This just came out like this has been on my mind all day. You were at the game. Did Trey Lance get up and do a full huddle with the team before he got taken off?
I don't remember that. I mean, I don't see like every play, every huddle, you know.
Well, because it was reported that Lance, when he was injured, pulled his teammates to the side and said, "Finish this." And Fred Warner and Jimmy G said it was a boss move.
I saw that too. I don't know.
I was just wondering. I knew you were there, so you might have like seen more than what the TV.
I was in section 229.
I don't have no idea how high you were in that.
It's not anywhere near the field.
Like
okay. You have to be on the fucking, like.
Oh, okay. We got an answer.
You have to be a 49er.
Hey, we got an answer on the comments.
John de Guzman says, yes, he did. Then he fell down.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you. So,
I
mean, that's what it's been reported.
And apparently it was true.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I wasn't there, so. Sis, I was at 228. So yeah. But I was just looking at the Broncos schedule, and honestly, I don't think you guys have like huge competition. I can't stand the Raiders, but I don't think
it's 2 games in a season, like I just think that it's just way too early to come to any sort of conclusions about really anything, right? Because
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you guys have big competition.
It's still going to be competitive. It's still going to be competitive, and I think that right now we're the fourth best team in the division when you look at the product of play. I mean, we struggled against two of the worst rosters in the league, so that I think holds weight, and I think it's a cause of concern. I mean, you would think I'm not even a Broncos fan by how much I'm bashing my Broncos, but I like to be. I like to be partial. I like to be.
He moved to Seattle, you guys.
It's my second time, my second round in Seattle, but no, like it's right. We're just not a good team right now. That could change in week 10, right? We just don't know. I mean, we just don't know.
Well, everyone had such high hopes for your AFC West, and it's turning out to look like a complete disaster right now. And I don't know if like maybe all the pressure's getting to those guys because they were supposed to be the best division in the AFC. And now it looks like it's going to be the AFC East is going to be the best division in the AFC.
By far.
I mean, the AFC North, no one can win a damn game. So anyway.
There's a lot of star power at quarterback in that division. Justin Herbert, this is really like his first season where there's really, really real like expectations for him, like to take them to the Super Bowl, right? With all the additions that they have. So I just believe the Chargers are cursed and just can't. When they have those type of expectations, historically they crater, and I don't trust Derek Carr to be able to lead them in a deep run into the playoffs, even with Devontae Adams. But that roster should be scoring at least 30 points a game.
I mean, has anyone taken the odds that Russ is what did they say last night? 19-4 against you guys? Isn't that what Ted said last night? 19-4.
Like
I thought
that.
It was 16-4.
16, I think.
16-4.
16. Yeah.
But that's just crazy numbers. Like, is he gonna have another owning day?
No.
But that is an owning. That is an owning number.
That's with Seattle.
But it's still Russell Wilson's
with Pete
record.
Carroll. That's with, fucking what's this? Their defense when they had, in 2013, the Legion of Doom, or Boom, whatever the fuck they called it. Fuck them.
Well, I was just asking a general
same
question.
guys, the same motherfucking fans who threw shit at Navarro Bowman, and I'm sitting in rehab watching this shit. Maybe there's a little too much information.
They were acting like a bunch of Raider fans.
They were. They were acting like Raiders fans.
There probably were some ex-Raider fans that joined that fan base.
Seriously, because they're all fucking bandwagoners. Sorry, I get a little heated.
Hey, it's your show.
The energy's good.
We're guests in your house.
That's right.
Go Ruthless as you want.
Just don't start throwing shit like Antonio Brown out the window of a 7-story hotel building.
Let's just go with he who must not be named for him because he's a straight clown. There, I said what I said. He's just a straight clown. I swear, like if I see that guy, I just want to. I don't know. I just want to. I don't know, man. Every time I see.
Ever since he married Sierra, he hasn't been really the same player. It's that curse.
Right? It's like that female curse you get like with a Kardashian or some sort of like artist Kardashians aren't artists, but you know what I mean.
They're dramatic. Like they're like those
dramatical artists.
Yeah, those TV reality shows they do, yeah.
Yeah, Sherman was the only good thing that came from that bunch. I agree. And he still fucking hates on the Seahawks too. He's got no love for them. None.
He bashes the Rams too.
He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, hey, Lynch, put me in, coach. Like, I'll get my fucking uniform in the closet. Like, put me in, coach. Or manage GM, whatever the fuck. But you know what I mean. Like, he's Reggie.
Did you see him take shots at Mike Martz's take on Trey Lance take? He put him in his place.
On who? Sorry.
No, like when Sherman saw what was said by Mike Martz, he took shots at Mike Martz's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the old Rams coach Mike Martz from like early 2000s Mike Martz.
The one that picked Mark Bolger over Kurt Warner. The one that
Oh God,
thought JT O'Sullivan was the next great quarterback.
Oh God, put that guy away. Put him away. He doesn't even need to talk. I don't even know why Steve Mariucci's even on TV still. Like, just go away.
JT O'Sullivan's the next great podcaster.
He's a great podcaster. I'm trying to get in.
Like, fuck, man.
I'm just listening right now. I think it's fucking funny as shit. Anyway, what is the next yeah, so it's did you guys miss Noah Fant the most? Was that the hardest thing out of that trade?
Noah Fant. I was kind of, keep him, we lose him. We underutilized him, I think. I think that he had a lot of potential, I think, to be kind of like a Dalton Schultz-esque type of, like a tiered player, like a tier 2 type player. Perennial Pro Bowler, nothing too exciting, but just gets the job done. It was a little bit sad, but I mean, I'm not really tripping. I think that with tight ends, you can utilize them in many different ways. So I didn't really feel any way about it, in all honesty. He hasn't even got any targets for Seattle, I don't think. I mean, he's been kind of a non-factor.
He caught a couple passes last week.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, somehow.
I think he's on my bench.
Maybe I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, he was, maybe.
That's what it was. I was in the bathroom
bench.
when they passed
him.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. That guy, I don't know. Oh. So.
Uh-oh. Someone get him a Red Bull.
Who, me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so did we notice
today and it doesn't do shit?
Did we notice any improvement when we saw Jimmy G come into the game? Now that he's had his shoulder surgery. Because I noticed that when he finished that drive for Trey, that he seemed a little bit more sure, a little more confident. Not so much in the second half. But then again, I attribute that to Kyle's play calling because Kyle didn't really let Trey throw. It seemed like he wanted Jimmy to do these plays that were meant for Trey. I don't know. I'm no fucking expert. So what do you guys think?
Well, as far as Garoppolo's shoulder, like he hasn't been hit yet. Like I haven't seen a Seattle player even touch Jimmy. Like Jimmy was like playing solid, good game. I see the confidence, but I didn't see him getting hit yet. Until I see Garoppolo get hit, I want to see how he shakes off that hit because that's the only way I'm going to see the difference. But other than that, he did look loose.
They seem to be blocking better for Jimmy G than Trey.
Yep.
I will say, though, if I'm a...
Go ahead, Geoff. Oh.
No, I'm telling you that Spencer Burford is paying dividends, man. Any of those Niners looking at my podcast when I interviewed Spencer Burford, I told him to go get this kid. And he was a good answer. Aaron Banks, he's kind of making some significant improvements.
Young kids, yeah.
I don't know. Like they're schematically without George Kittle, he's a good check down option for Jimmy G, I think. And so I think that not having Kittle is going to hurt him, right? To be able to have that additional option. We know what he is, right? It's been very well chronicled. He's a game manager. He's a guy that can make the occasional throw when needed. He's had a lot of success, but I think that's been more of Kyle Shanahan and knowing Jimmy G's limitations, right? Like you look at that NFC Championship game several years ago, they ran the ball, I think 90% of the time. They only passed the ball 8 times, and I think the average yard per attempt was like 3.4 yards, right? So they're not really going to push the ball down the field. They're going to play very strong defense. They're going to, control the clock. They're going to be like the UVA. They're going to be like the UVA basketball of college football, where they're just going to be very boring to watch. They're going to be very slow clock possession, field position, special teams, etc. But you know what he is. It is what it is with Jimmy G. or I like to say porn star Jimmy.
Like Jimmy's like that one guy that just comes off the bench and gives you the boost. Like he's that one cool kid in school that everybody votes for homecoming king, and then as soon as he gets on the field, everybody wants to play for him. I don't get it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, that schematically, you know, they run a lot of different just zone reads. They run what are they? There's that they just go ahead.
I was just ready to say what Gian just said. I was actually ready to say it, but I wanted to let you finish your conversation. So I was like, oh, someone already beat me to it. But yes, I mean, I think that is why.
Hey, Melissa.
Melissa.
She's one of my co-hosts. She's one of my co-hosts on my show. Well, both
She
of you
was on the show last night. I love Melissa. Easy.
She's awesome. No, Melissa, I'm tired because I worked again today and just got home. So that's why I'm a little tired today.
The thing about Jimmy too is like, you know, he's good, and then he's good for a couple of interceptions. So I was actually surprised that he didn't throw one on Sunday. I was like, oh my God. No, I mean, it's true. You know, I was like, man, that's just kind of what I expected. And then I remember thinking, like, because last year me and my son were tallying, he's 13. We were tallying up, okay, whenever Jimmy throws at least one interception, we still win. But if he throws two, we lose. So it's okay if he throws one. It's like, that's sad that you have to be down that road, so to speak, you know. Oh, John's in the chat. And he was actually going to come on the show too. What's good, family? Hey, no worries, John. I'm going to have you on the show too. I've got so many I'm blessed. I don't know about you, Geoff, but 49ers faithful, we're global, dude. So like, I'm going to be bringing on all kinds of family. But and then Melissa said he was nearly picked. I saw that too. And that's why I was like, oh, here we go. You know, it's scary that you have to be like that with your quarterback. You know, like, okay, here comes another INT. What?
This means I have to put up with Collinsworth all week, all night on Sunday night on Jimmy G on his knees.
Okay, am I one of the rare people that actually thinks he's not half bad?
No, but Colin Coward's gonna probably be too obsessed with Jimmy that he would want him to
I fucking hate him.
I'm talking about Chris Collins. I'm talking about the calling of the game on Sunday night.
No, I know.
And I think it's gonna be like Collinsworth's just gonna be all over Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad to have him back.
He totally is.
Dude, like seriously, like when you see Colin Coward praising about Jimmy, he's kind of giving the seal of approval for his daughter to date him, which is kind of like the weird look. Like he said, "Oh, that guy's good looking." The jawline. Oh my God! Like, and then Rich Eisen was talking kind of weird. I actually short clipped the video of Rich Eisen talking kind of weird.
Is that the jaw? Is that why it says jawline in the comments?
Yeah,
I saw that and I had no clue what the hell it meant.
It's Jimmy.
But Melissa disagrees. She disagrees. She can't stand Jimmy. I mean, as far as like the like you said about the Niners community, it's a great group. Gina, maybe you want to join my round chick crew because she's always on my group every Monday. If you're more than welcome to join the crew.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Send in a recruit.
You guys are even strong over the pond too. That San Francisco UK group, man, that's some strong shit too.
They're legit. They've been trying to get me on.
I gotta give you props though.
Who, Paul? Who? Like, I tried to get Paul to sneak on tonight, but he's like, but it's already 1:30 in the morning over there. Yeah, Gina, I invite Paul to every episode.
I've already been in his DMs, not like that, but I asked him. No. I asked him to be on the show before, and I was like trying to calculate, and I'm like, dude, it's fucking 2:00 in the morning when I do my show for him, you know.
That's why I asked you to come on that one day at like 8 in the morning and 5 at your time.
It's like 5 my time, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, but maybe Another time when I'm getting up early for work, like if I have an hour to spare early in the morning, yeah, sure. But I see some comments coming in.
Melissa,
But
I'm with you on that one.
I
Paul
think
is
Melissa
great.
approves you to join the crew.
Yay! I love
Hey,
it.
we need a second female on the crew.
You know, and I love talking fantasy too. And I know that Paul Hope is best. Yeah, I know Paul Hope is
Give us
awesome.
hope.
I also want to dive into some Broncos. What we have to like look forward to as Niner fans. What's more concerning, Geoff? Hackett's play calling or time management issues, or both, maybe?
So I'm going to say there's an equilibrium with both of those, but I also said that this is why we needed a head coach, someone with head coaching experience with this team, considering what's at stake, considering the age of Russell Wilson, considering the window that we have, and a very tough division. Nathaniel Hackett didn't even call the plays in Green Bay. He just designed them, right? So now he's calling plays and as well as managing the game as a head coach, right? That is a lot to do for a first-time head coach and also as well as a first-time OC doing it in both, right? So I'm concerned about both the play calling, but I think I'm more concerned with the decision making. If you're a head coach, you should not have to call a timeout when you don't have a punt returner to return the ball, right? Like those are just simple preparations are essential, and just like the 13 penalties were just absolutely egregious. So I would say there's an equilibrium of both.
I noticed that Russ had a problem, and I said this on a show in the past. Why is he always having these delay of game penalties? I thought it was a problem in Seattle, but it seems that maybe like he has the same problem. Like, or is it him? Is it him and Hackett? Is like what's going on? You know?
Didn't they have a bad timeout called right after the other team had a timeout last weekend?
Yeah.
Wasn't that part of what I only listened to a little bit of the game. I didn't get to see it, but I listened to it because obviously I busting my ass at work. It's fucking crazy. We have 4 drivers on Sunday and one place is closed, so we're hassled out the ass. So I don't live and watch NFL like everyone else, so I live off of what I hear. But
you work 8 days a week.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. And then I try to do my production on top of it. So it makes it rather entertaining. But didn't they have a play where they were like on the goal line, or was that the week before, where the other team had a timeout and then they called a timeout right after it, or they took a delay of game?
I believe it was probably a delay of game. I don't think it was necessarily like a timeout, I believe, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think it was a delay of game. But yeah, I mean, shit's
but at the end
crazy.
of the day, Hackett is the reason why we are 1-1. You're a head coach. You have to understand that the last time someone hit a field goal more than 55 yards, I think, was in 2008, 2009, in that stadium outside going against the wind. Yeah, like those are things you have to know. Like our kicker was 1 of 7 for 60 in field goals, 60 yards or more at that time. You have to know that. You have a $235 million quarterback. Why do I know these things, but the coach doesn't? I'm just saying. Like,
right.
You have to know those things. You have to know situations. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is he a Joe Philbin 2.0, man? Because remember how that benefited with Rodgers and those coaching. Like look at how Melissa said it best. Like Hackett kind of actually was around Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. He can't fall back on those guys. So it's like I'm wondering, wasn't it that Aaron Rodgers making most of the play calls? Because Rodgers calls his own shots. So I think Hackett was more like the yes man.
Yeah. I mean, what does it mean to design? Like, I mean, you can design them, but are you calling them? Like, can you in game situations be able to go to your tools, right? And go to your play calls and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do in 3rd and 5. These are the 7 plays we're going to have. 3rd and long, these are the plays that we're going to have. Special teams, make sure you have everyone ready. Like, He needs to just focus on game managing and not calling plays. He needs an offensive coordinator. And Melissa's absolutely right. And to your point, Jen, like it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating.
And, similarly, I was thinking about how Kyle Shanahan is just the one pretty much calling all the shots offensively with the calls. You know what? My brother and I were talking on the way home from the game, and it was like one of those wins where it feels kind of empty because we felt like a gut punch after Trey went down. Season-ending injury, which a lot of people didn't even realize at that point, because we were hearing like piecemeal information, at the game. And there were some people that were like, no, it's season ending. They're like, no, we heard concussion and all this other crap. Anyways, long story short, people were asking, who is the offensive coordinator? Like, we knew it was Mike McDaniel like last season, but we don't know who it is now,
It's Shanahan.
Right. Exactly. My brother was asking me, who is it? And I said, I don't know. He's like, you run a podcast. And I go, yeah, I don't know who it is. I'm like, go ahead and Google it and tell me.
Well, the coordinators for him is like the run game would either be Anthony Lynn, which he's the run game specialist, but he's a running backs coach. I think one of the guys who does the QB is actually doing some of the pass play calling, but it's mostly Shanahan that calls the plays.
Yeah. So, I mean, does he need like a little break from that? Because it seems to be overwhelming at times.
I think like to be a game manager in itself, then you're also giving feedback as the head coach on defense as well, right? So at some point throughout the game, when it's like, third and long, you're thinking, okay, do we go for this play to get better field position? Defense, what are you thinking about this? So it's just the constant communication back and forth. It's just, it's incredibly difficult. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that. And, and Miss Melissa, she's on point. She's on point. I mean,
yeah.
She sums it up as,
the girl's always on point, man. I only talked to her once, but that girl knows her shit.
Well, she's always on my podcast consistently, so she's always been.
Oh, Melissa, we got to bring you on DTS. Gina, get me in touch with her if you can. We
Yeah.
got to bring on DTS sometime.
Well, we got to have two females on my podcast, man. We got to have it.
It's all about networking, baby.
I like that you fit the ruthless mentality. That's what I like. I like truth. I like realistic. I like the cruel facts. I don't like none of that sugarcoat stuff. None of that.
That's right.
Cheers to that. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's gonna be an interesting season. It's gonna be a very interesting game. I think you guys are in a much better position than us, so I'm interested to see how you guys play out throughout the duration.
Yeah, I just hope they don't fall asleep like that Bears game.
I mean, you chalk that up to the random elements, man. I don't even. I mean, that's a tough game to play. That's just. I don't even hold that game against you guys.
Izzy is my agent.
Izzy's one of the best. She's one of my best co-hosts in the business.
I see why, man.
Awesome.
If you watched the end of Gina's show last night, she kind of took over towards the end.
Oh, no. Gina and Izzy would be a great fit to the round check, man. We got to get some all-stars, some kick-ass all-stars.
So I want to also ask, do the 49ers have a better chance at getting to the Super Bowl with Jimmy? And this seems like a redundant ask question because we've been down this path before. Like we've said, that the bad roommate, the bad, toxic ex, the friend, the clinging, friend, or the clinging, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Or when the current girlfriend leaves and says, "I'm just kidding, you can come right back."
Yeah. It's like, Or did you see that recent video of that? I think it was the Bears fan that said, "Well, hey, this has been my team for 22 years. You've been my girl for 2 months." And he's like legit crying, Like I felt that.
I mean,
So
to answer your question, wait, you can go. My bad.
Go ahead, boss.
Well, to answer that question, do we have a better chance to get to the Super Bowl with Jimmy? Can he stay healthy? That's been the question mark from Jimmy Garoppolo's entire career. This is the reason why we drafted Trey Lance, is because the fact Jimmy can't stay healthy. It's not that he plays bad, it's that he never stays healthy. And when he plays healthy, he's put us in predicament situations. I don't know if he could take us to the Super Bowl because, it takes a great team to scheme to stop our running game. As soon as you stop that running game, you force Jimmy to beat you with his arm, and that's the rare thing. But realistically, he's taken us places, and I'll just say our ceiling could be NFC Championship game, maybe more, but I don't know. He has to stay healthy.
yeah, I agree.
I would say that I do agree with you that he can't stay healthy, but I don't think that the premise of drafting Trey Lance was necessarily because of the health factor. I think it was more about upside and what you want to do with your offensive scheme, right? I think that Jimmy G is just severely limited both athletically and as well as with his arm. He can be very inaccurate and at times can show that he doesn't have command of the offense that he's been in and year out, right? What Trey Lance brought was upside, both rushing and as well as a passer, and being able to make your offense even more versatile. But I think that the Kittle effect is real. Even if it doesn't show up statistically, he is a safe haven for him in the short range passing game. So I think that they can be very effective if Deebo Samuel can be Deebo Samuel, and if they can be very versatile with their running backs, and then also if George Kittle can be on the field, then I think that they will be fine and can win the division and can potentially make it to the Super Bowl. I generally do think that.
Yeah, I've seen an Instagram live with Eric Davis, and he was kind of going back and forth with some fans and saying, you can't say that Jimmy doesn't win big games, because he obviously has. He's won divisional, he's won NFC Championship. Those are big games. And he's, part of the process. And at the end of the day, we're not rooting for a single player. We're rooting for the 49ers, whether it's Trey Lance, Fred Warner, Spencer Burford, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rooting for the motherfucking 49ers, even fucking Kyle Shanahan, who gets on my fucking nerves sometimes. Like, I hate him in press conferences. I think he's a great coach. I'm no coach. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just know that I've watched 49ers since I was 7 years old. And that was in like 1981-82 season, when they won their first Super Bowl. That's how old I am, people. But anyway,
Patrick
it's like
Surtain is more than likely going to play on Sunday.
Okay, good. You want squads to play, like each squad to play at their healthiest, because that's real competition, So like fucking, I don't care who, if it's fucking Birdie, Purdy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Purdy Bird.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, Brock Purdy, or fucking like, I don't know who the Broncos fucking backup is. Like, Jerry Jeudy throwing a pass to fucking whoever. I don't care. Just fucking like, let's just play.
That
And
Broncos
whoever
shit was
gets
a mess
us,
last
let's go.
year.
It sure was. So
That
you know what?
Bronco quarterback debacle last year, that was crazy. one week where the guy wasn't sitting in the office since they said he was there, and then all of a sudden you have a wide receiver playing fucking quarterback.
Oh, hitting! Oh my God, bro! Like that. Oh, dude! Like, come on. And he actually had a reception on Sunday. I was like, all right, brother. All right, there you go. Get yours. Receive. Like that was messed up, man. Like it really was. But to answer Melissa's question, like Bradley Chubb, I don't even know, to be honest with you, because he can't stay healthy either. You can see the potential. He has the ability, I think, to be a pass disruptor, can fill in the gaps. But I just think that the injuries have caught up to him, and I think he's lost a step, and I don't think he necessarily has like that same type of like power and quickness with his arms, which brought him to be the 5th overall pick.
Dead air.
Go Broncos.
Go Niners!
Go Buckeyes.
Go Niners. Go
Go
Sooners.
Yankees.
Go Dubs, Warriors.
Tell you that atmosphere. I know it's football, but y'all's atmosphere is on fire. I got to go to the finals this year. I think Game 5. That
It's gonna be
atmosphere is
kind of
fire.
emotional. I didn't realize Mike Shanahan's getting into the ring, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, go Lakers, but I'm not a Warriors fan.
I'm still Lakers fan. I just wanted to go to the game, so I just want to make sure we're clear on that. But no, man, Mike Shanahan, man, Father Time, undefeated. That all that white hair. That's just...
Well, I was at the Warriors parade in San Francisco, and it was lit.
Sure it was.
I was touching the bodies of Gary Payton II and Juan Toscano Anderson. They were like literally right there. And then I had this like big glove. Where's the glove? It's behind the TV. And it fived Bob Myers. So, and plus the other guys. And then I was like face to face with Mike Brown, who's now the coach of the Sacramento Kings. So that was pretty fun. We were like, good luck on your next job as Kings coach. And he was like, thank you. We're like, oh, we were just talking to him like for real. It was pretty cool. We thought we were special, You
are.
Shut up. I don't know if he's being. I know, like I don't know if he's being sarcastic or what. I know. Look at Gina bragging. I'm totally bragging. But yeah, and then we're gonna bring on people.
It's a good moment. It's a good moment whenever you get next to anybody that's on one of your favorite teams. I mean, it just
and the Jabberwockies were right next to us too. So I had like pictures, and I got pictures of them and everything, and it was so fun.
We might see one at the end, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Did I post pics of those at the end?
I don't
not
know.
sure.
I thought it was on there.
I don't remember. Oh, look, we have another bragging right. Hufunga is my bestie's cousin. Yay! I love it. It's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever.
Nice. Hufunga's just a beast. Like everybody keeps calling him the next Troy Polamalu. No, he's his own guy. But
yeah, exactly. You don't have to compare just because they're like the same race or whatever.
Or
like,
look, there's nothing wrong with playing like Troy Polamalu, okay?
But he was trained by him.
Polamalu was awesome for sure.
Polamalu had speed. There was a difference, but Hufunga plays faster than his speed, so he plays more like game speed. Polamalu just had the world class speed to just blitz, and that's what makes Hufunga so unique. It's like they still use those type of safeties today's NFL.
Like
it's just all about the coverage.
Who would you compare him to as an old Niner?
Oh, you mean for Hufunga?
Yeah.
He kind of gives me that Dante Whitner vibe a little bit. Because Dante Whitner was a tackler. He was a hitter.
Yeah.
And
Dante Whitner.
Yeah, they were undersized, and he had the most tackles. You look at Hufunga's game. He makes tackles. He may not be fast, but he can get the job done. I wouldn't say Golston because it's kind of a little too far off. I think the Whitner comparison seems close enough to me.
Marquise Golston?
John says Tony Parrish.
No, I mean Deshaun Goldston was the guy we used to have.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Tony Parrish, yeah, he was a ball hawker, but Tony Parrish wasn't like quite a hitter. He was just a guy that made the tackles when it was necessary. I mean, I just think of Whitner because Whitner was more like a safety linebacker making tackles and hitting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what do you think about like some score predictions? Niners by
You got to say your magic number, Gene.
Oh, well, see, okay, here's the thing. I only say that when the Niners play at Levi's. I say
Oh,
Niners by
okay.
20. So they're playing at Mile High, different altitude. It could be like Niners by 10.
Ooh, Melissa agrees with me. See, I told you I'm spot on. She knows what I'm talking about. This is why I have her as my co-host because we think alike. Because Whitner was a tackler. He wasn't like quite an interception machine, but I think when Hufanga gets those opportunities, it's going to be spectacular, which he got against the Bears.
Why don't we get the audience to give their scores?
Yeah, we got John Vorno saying 17-14. We've got Dougie Doug in the house saying 21-10. Izzy saying 17-10, 49ers. I don't think it's a blow up because of Garoppolo.
Let's see.
Yeah.
As far as my prediction, I'll go Niners 28. And Broncos, it probably will come down to the fourth quarter where they get those extra points. So I think Broncos will get 20 or maybe 17.
21-0 though. I mean, damn. Like, okay. You know, my just because I think this is just going to be a wacky game. I just think the Broncos are going to be typical Broncos. I'm going to honestly go like 17-11. Just because I just think it's just going to be a very, very weird game. I think Denver will score first, and then a field goal. I don't know. Like I don't. I'm just not too confident in the Broncos right now. So 17-11, 49ers. But
Ooh.
I still love my Broncos.
Am I the only one that's feeling like? Am I the only one that's feeling 42-10?
What?
Niners.
Damn. I hope you're right about that.
All right, guys.
42-10.
42-10.
Hey, Geoff, let me ask you a question about Russ.
No one likes that one, huh?
So what what do you feel like he needs to do to like gain more of the more of the like feel for, you know, like respect over like Hackett? Like how can he overcome, you know, more of like the you know, like because Hackett clearly didn't call on him on Russ, you know, for that last play in week 1, you know, to take it down and instead kick the 64-yarder. Like it just, I mean, I just feel like it should have been like he should have just called on Russ. I mean, if I'm Russ, I'm thinking, nah, man, like that's, you know, let me handle it. Like what? I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, that's a tough one. I don't necessarily think I have. I don't know if I really don't know. I just think that what they need to do is just kind of open the playbook up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Take a couple more risks down the field. I think try to, you know, maybe the first, you know, play, try to get Courtland Sutton going. I mean, he's our best offensive playmaker right now. And I think that we just need to continue to give our running backs the opportunity to get open spacing and let him, you know, make the necessary throws, but have a good balance on the run game and as well as the passing. They can do that. The offensive line has actually been somewhat decent these 2 games. So I think they do that. We have a chance.
Gotcha.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, there's a Von Miller question right there.
Like,
I knew that. I
like,
knew that
real
was
talk.
going to come up. I was getting ready to talk about Von Miller, and thoughts of the rings and all that. But well,
Von Miller's
the
like
other
my
host,
favorite
the other
player.
host beat us. So
Your thoughts on Vaughn winning a second ring and now
Man,
kicking all kind of ass in
I
the
love it.
Western?
I'm a Von Miller supporter. He is my favorite football player of all time. I talk about him like literally all the time on the podcast. If it's not the Broncos, I want the Bills just because of Von Miller. So if it ain't the Broncos, it's going to be the Bills. So let the wagon roll.
When I think of Von Miller, I think of that chicken dance.
Dude's just a character, man.
I mean, he does a chicken dance. That's something.
let me look at that.
John.
John just typed there.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to see Kittle finally this season play a game. Come on, Kittle. You know, I hate when people are like, "Oh, he's injury prone and all this other stuff." It's like, well, he has been playing in the league for quite some time. The last time we really saw him play a full season was what, 2018?
Yeah.
Like without missing a game.
He played through broken ribs too, which is like but
I mean, he's a blocker.
Yeah, and his best game was against the Denver Broncos that year because he had like 200 and was it 200 like I think it was 215 or 14 yards receiving before halftime. And they didn't even give him the ball ever since because he was blocking.
Yeah.
I beat that
2018 was the last time you guys played Denver?
Yeah. That was the year we won with Mullins at quarterback that year.
Yeah, because I remember that year we played the NFC West that year because I remember I was at the game when we watched Todd Gurley go off for like 230 rushing yards and Cooper Kupp tore his ACL that game when they were in Denver. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Kittle broke the tight end receiving yard record game that game.
Kelsey had it for a moment, then it just was broken by Kittle.
Any final thoughts, guys? Final questions?
I mean, this is just going to be a very up and down season. It's going to be a lot of. We're going to see a lot more injuries because I think that since they changed the rules, I think you're going to have a lot of injuries. This season is just going to be so up and down, and all of our fantasy teams are going to be so different by the time week 12 and 13 rolls around, in all honesty.
No problem, Melissa.
So wait, Geoff and Gina, you two are in the same fantasy, right?
Yeah, with Ben.
Yes, and she lost to me. She lost to me. I beat her.
Not by a lot. Way to beat a girl.
Yes, dude. I beat her. Not by a lot. Well,
I prefer they. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
you know I'm kidding, right?
It's all game. It's all fun and games, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm just smiling and just waving, smiling and waving.
Pay attention to real life, then we have issues. Anyway, it's always fun just to win at your fantasy, and it doesn't really matter.
Like, yeah, like I have this other app on the league that I'm at called Sleeper or something, and I'm like,
you got Sleeper too, Gene?
Yeah, and I don't know how to fucking use it, so I'm just like,
it's pretty easy.
I know how to edit my lineup, but I don't know how to get another new player off the waiver. So
you got to go to your team, and then there's a little thing up top with four squares on it, and then you hit players. It's on the left up top.
We'll
and then
show me later.
Search up players on the waivers, then that's how you get them. But you have to replace. You have to replace it with the bench.
I just wanted to see the pool of players.
I couldn't believe J.K. Dobbins didn't get picked in any of my leagues, and he was a free agent this week. If I would have known that last week, I would have picked him up, but I didn't see him. So, oops.
So I want you all to plug your shows before I do an exit.
And And remember,
So,
if you want to stay around and BS afterwards, just hang out.
yeah, if you guys
backstage.
want to bullshit after, Geoff, why don't we start with the Broncos fan? Where can we find you?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at JeffLong33. We are DTS, Death, Taxes, and Sports. We've been 44 episodes in. Episode 45 will be coming out tomorrow. Really excited about that. So yeah, just overall good vibes, and glad, and thanks for having me, Gina.
And I've been on the show before, so I know it's a great show. I love Death, Taxes, and Sports. I've listened to it quite a few times, and you guys are awesome. So I knew I had to at least, repay in some way and have you on the show. So thanks, Geoff.
Ben sends
No
me
problem.
a new episode every week just to let you know.
I
So every time I hit Spotify, it comes up. So I listen to while I'm driving around at work. So I do listen. Might not always pay attention, but I am
It's
listening.
a great podcast. So
I'll
yeah,
definitely check it out.
for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. And whatever content
and-
you guys have, I'm
yeah.
returning the favor.
Yeah, I've interviewed the current starting guard like months before the draft, so that's like one of my best hits.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Burford, yeah, who would have thought that guy would have ended up being a stud at that line?
It's always I had a couple USFL guys before.
Dude,
So
I
who
had
knows,
Mike
maybe.
Rump on my show when he was a DB coach at Miami, bro. Julian Peterson.
Oh.
I don't know. It's like I've been lucky.
You've been, whenever they say yes, and you're like,
oh yeah, Jason Poe. Yep, he was another guy on my show.
you get these names, and you're like, all right, they're coming on, cool.
I'm an aggressive guy. That's why they call me Ruthless, because I push for it. I don't take no for an answer. I'm like Chris Benoit. I'll put you in submission.
Well, don't be like Chris Benoit, all right?
Nah, just the
I know, right?
Don't do it. Don't do all that crazy shit to your family, all right?
But
I had a drink with Chris Benoit like 2 nights before all this happened. I didn't cause all this, but they were in Pittsburgh, and we were sitting at the bar, and Chris Benoit was sitting like right there. We're like, dude, that's Chris Benoit. We're like buying shots and shit. That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that was my Chris Benoit story.
Well, I've actually had Rico Casatito on my show, which he's a wrestler, and then I had that Nick Dinsmore guy. Like for anybody that's not familiar with my channel, it's CG Ruthless Sports Network. This is technically just interviews and a bunch of other stuff, but I do have a 49ers content that's just almost at 300 subs, but my main channel is like almost at 4,000. Most of my channel is based by just interviews or collaborates and 49ers Round Check every Monday. I do NFC West Network every Tuesday from 6 p.m. I do it with a Cardinals fan, a Rams, and Seahawks fan every week. We always debate. Yep.
So what do you call it? Like, Chris, or what do you call yours? Like, I know my buddy NFL Outdated, he does the Frozen Four, which is the NFC North. So if you ever need anyone from there, let me know. I can reach out to him.
Okay. Well, I do like NFC West Network. It's
right. I was just saying.
Oh yeah, it's popping. It's already like at 500. It's growing pretty fast. My channel's almost at 3.5K. So it's like I've had this channel for 2 years.
Oh,
nice.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we just started. We're still a young group here.
Yeah, you guys got to definitely check out. If you guys ain't subscribed to my channel, you got to check out Spencer Burford interview. This was a month before he even got drafted.
I definitely will. Yeah,
definitely
and he DMs me sometimes.
Nice. I subscribed. So, Adam, make sure that you sub from our account, and we all sub each other. So it's sub for sub.
Okay.
Well, you're more than welcome to join this round check because Melissa seems to want you on board, Gina. It's just court's on you.
Okay, thank you. I love being active and everything. Hell yeah. So you guys make sure in the chat, thank you so much for joining in on the live chat. And I'm so happy that we got to do this. And next week, Adam and I will be back to overreact to the outcome of the 49ers Broncos game with 49ers faithfuls. Do not miss it. Make sure you're following us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and subscribe on YouTube and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one drops. And you guys, if you guys want to stick around and
Who's Tin
wait.
Cup?
Tin Cup is the guy that was going to join us. He's another Broncos fan.
He's still golfing.
Okay, that's fine. I told him he can come back with us next week because he really wanted to be here too. So great show. Thanks guys for joining us. And like I said, make sure you hit the like button so we can get this show popular. All right. Thanks so much. And stick around backstage. You guys, if you guys want to chat just a little bit more, we can chit chat. All right. Thanks. And hang out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.